What's up, everybody? It's Big John again. We're gonna do a little, restoration of a old GI Joe, original GI Joe. I believe this is the X30. Yep, this is the Conquest X30. And a lot of these vintage toys have really scratched up windshields. So I'm not going to do anything to the vehicle itself. It is 100% complete. I didn't put the missiles with it. The missiles are in the back still. But, we're going to do a light washing, a little bit of soap and water just to get the dust off of it and stuff like that. But we can wash these windshield pieces, but they're so scratched up and everything. So I'm going to basically show you guys how to refurbish this and make it crystal clear again. And I'm going to be using a product called Pledge Floor Care with Finish. Future. Sorry, it's Pledge Floor Care finish with the future in it. And this is what we're going to be using at the very last step. And what that's going to do is it's going to fill in all of the really, really, really small scratches. I have two pieces of sandpaper here. I have a 2000 grit and a 2500 grit. That will be the second. And what you're going to do is you're just going to wet sand this really good. So I'm just going to dip my sandpaper here. And I'm just going to start sanding this. Now, this is a very non-evasive way. I mean, the sandpaper is 2000 grit, so it's not very abrasive at all. My cleaning area here is my showcase. I got a couple of paper towels underneath a very clean rag. So just to, get a lot of the water. We just want to keep it kind of moist, wet, and we just want to sand this for a good little bit here. And just get it really thoroughly. And we're going to be doing both sides, right? So there we go. I'm just moving sort of in a circular motion, trying to get it as good as I can here. It's nice and wet. And now we're going to flip this over. And now we're going to do the same thing, but on the inside. Again, we're just going to dip our sandpaper in some water here. We want to get this tip really good. Now the last step we're going to do is we're going to basically, we're going to wash this with soap and water, and we're going to dry it really, really well. That way it's nice and ready for the final step, which is the floor cleaner. So there, we've done both sides. I would have, I don't want the video to go too long. I would have done this a little more with the 2000 grit sandpaper. So it's not too bad. So there, we've done our 2000 grit. And now we're going to move over to the 2500 grit. Again, we're going to wet it. And we're just going to start. Now you want to go longer. I like to go a little longer in time than I used on the 2000. And this is going to make like really, really fine scratches on this X30 windshield. Now remember, if you don't like the way it came out on the first go around, you can always after it dries, wet it down again and re-sand it again. You can get this as perfect as you want it and not worry about it. my workstation is moving on me. So we're going to keep wetting it. Now we're going to flip it over and do the inside. We're going to be careful. We're going to get this tip here, but we don't want to snap this clip. So like I said, you know, we're just doing some light sanding here. With we just used the 2000. Now we're on to 2500. You can even go 3000 grit if you want, and do it, you know, some more. It just depends on, you know, how perfect you want this to be. Now it probably didn't look too bad on camera, but believe me, it was pretty scratched up. I mean, it was pretty bad. Okay, so now we've done the 2000 and the 2500. Now I'm going to go ahead and I'm going to run this to the bathroom real quick, and I'm going to wash it, and then I'm going to dry it, and I'll show you what it looks like before we go ahead for the final step. So what I need to do is I need to take this bowl, rinse it out, and get it ready for the future. Okay, so what I've done now is I've washed the windshield. We'll set it up here with soap and water. And I have some paper towels here. So we're going to go ahead and dry this. And I'm going to show you what it looks like. And then I'm going to show you what it's going to look like after it comes out of the pledge with future in it. Okay, so we've dried it off really good. And now that's what it looks like. Right? It's all fogged out. Right? So we're going to set that over there. And now we're going to just dry out our bowl. We want the bowl really dry. In reality, I normally have another bowl. But I think it was taken home. I believe it might have been taken home. So here we have another bowl. It's completely dry. I'm going to dry my hands. Okay, so now this is what we're stuck with. You can't see through that at all. It's completely hazy. So now I have a small bottle of the future, the pledge. And now I'm just going to pour it into this bowl. This is 4 floor ounces. Right? That's all it is. And now I'm going to take my windshield and I just want to dip it into the solution. And that's all. Right? So now we're just going to get it in there. And we're going to just push it down here. We want to make sure we roll it. We want to get the whole thing completely covered. You don't want to touch this stuff with your fingers. It's extremely sticky. Make sure you get everything. Wipe off my tweezers here. And then I like to just go back a few times. You want to make sure you just get a really good coat of the wax or the floor care on your windshield. You want to get it nice and coated, right? Then what I like to do is take a piece of acrylic like I don't throw away my old turtle shells. So what I'll do now is I'll take this old turtle shell and I'll put it down. You don't want to put it on like a rag or a paper towel because as it dries, the edges are going to get a little sticky. So now what we're going to do is we're going to let this drip off all the excess that we can get off of it. Now, you notice it's still a little hazy. So we've got most of the excess off. Now we're just going to run it. I'm just going to go ahead and grab right here. I'm going to go ahead and set this straight down on this piece of acrylic. Dry off get my tweezers. And if you notice, it's still really hazy. Now, this takes about an hour to an hour and a half to dry. And I will show you the end result. Because I know that you guys don't want to sit there and wait for the hour to do its job. Right? So this is another X30. And I have already done this one. And as you can see, this one was actually worse than this one. As you can see, it's nice and clean. And that's what this product will do. It is a pain in the butt to work with it. It can get kind of messy. You do not want to leave it in the bowl. You want to get a small funnel and you want to put it back in the bottle and retighten your lid. But this is exactly how it works. So what I recommend is do your due diligence, do your sanding really, really well, and then I promise you, when it's done with its last part, which is this, that will be your result. You can see perfectly through it. Okay, this is a good tip for, you can also restore old Hot Wheels windshields back to their original clearness. It's just an awesome, awesome way to use a product that's meant for something completely different to get a result that's much better in the end. But for the Comic Book Underground, this is Big John with just a quick tip on how to restore your plastic windshields or your plastic pieces on some of your vintage toys. But for right now, I'm out.